Hey everyone, this is Kunal from Digit, and today I have the LG G Pro 2 with me. It's the company's flagship smartphone aimed at phablet users. This was launched at about 51,500 and now you can get in the market for around 39,000, which is quite a big drop for such a big smartphone. This has a really neat design. You can also use a lot of features on the devices. So as you can see, there are no buttons around it. You only get what LG has been doing recently. There are keys underneath the camera, the volume and the power and lock key. You can also use this key for taking pictures. Um, in this price segment, it is actually a very good deal. And if you're looking at competitors like Samsung or even Sony, this is actually a very well priced phablet. You get the Snapdragon 800 processor on it, a 30 megapixel camera with an OIS image stabilization system. The body is pretty neat. There's a 5.5-inch Full HD display on it, and the colors and the brightness level on the display are actually very good. And LG has been very good with its UI as well. This is running on the latest Android KitKat update, and it has LG's Optimus UI on it. So this is actually a very neat looking phablet which you can get at about 40 grand if you have the budget. So not a bad option if you're if you like large screen phones, and you tend to love large screen phones with a lot of power on it. So this is actually a very good option. It has a pretty slim profile. It's not very thick. Also feels very good in the hand. Although we are not big fans of phablets, because you can't use it with two hands. But overall, this has a very neat feature. You just swipe it up and you get a smaller screen to use. Anyway, coming back to the design, this is a 5.5-inch Full HD display. This is an IPS panel and with true LCD plus. So this is actually a very nice looking display. You get rich colors on it. The brightness and the contrast on the display is actually good. Checking out rest of the design, the back has a textured finish. So this gives you a nice little grip. As you can see, the 4G LTE logo on it, that means this is 4G enabled. The only keys you get on the phone are at the back underneath the camera, which is the volume control and the power and lock key. There's also a notification light inside it, and you can also use this to click pictures. Of course, we have the 13 megapixel camera with an LED flash. The camera also has OIS, that means optical image stabilization. So you can get quite sharp, and you don't get any issues with focusing. Below we have the loudspeaker and the shiny LG logo. You can see the sides, they're all empty. You only have the micro USB port at the bottom, and of course the 3.5mm audio jack and the infrared port at the top. So very well designed. I think LG is doing pretty good with their smartphones, although people are trying not to buy LG products. And the back is also removed. Let me show you on the inside. You get a 3200 mAh battery, the micro SD card slot and the SIM card slot. So pretty standard stuff on the inside, nothing fancy. You can just pop it in. Going to the hardware, it runs on a Snapdragon 800 quad-core processor clocked at 2.26 GHz. There's 3 GB of RAM on it, and it comes with 16 GB of internal memory. You can expand it further with a micro SD card slot. And going by the UI, as I said, it runs on Android 4.4.2 KitKat, which is currently the latest, and it runs on LG's proprietary UI. Overall, I think the build and design of the smartphone is very nice. As you can see, the bezels are very slim, and you have a very shiny kind of finishing on the bezels, so it gives a nice premium feel to it. There's also a bit of a metal kind of trim on the earpiece, which looks nice and gives a nice premium feel to it. For 39 grand, I think it's actually a very nicely built phone from LG. Although I think there's a bit too much of plastic, but it doesn't feel all that of low quality. For phablets, I think if you want a better option, or maybe like a competitor to this smartphone, I think the Note 3 is a perfect competitor to the smartphone. Although I think personally do like LG's whole philosophy behind the phablet, and the usability is actually quite better on the smartphone. This phablet runs on a Snapdragon 800 2.26 gigahertz quad-core processor. This has 3 GB of RAM, which is I think ample for a phablet like this. And going by the performance levels, I think the the G Pro 2 is not a bad smartphone if you want something like a high-end device. Although we did some benchmarks on it, but comparing it with its rival smartphones, I don't think it's up to the match. Although it did give us a decent amount of score, and judging by the Snapdragon 800, we did expect slightly better on the synthetic benchmarks. But in any case, synthetic benchmarks they don't actually mean a lot, and the real life performance and day-to-day performance means a lot. Overall, I think you can work around very smoothly on the UI. This is running on Android KitKat, which is now currently the latest update. So if you can see the UI, it's very smooth, very fluid. We don't have any issues with it. It also comes with the LG's patented knock code. So you just double tap and the screen just turns on. So this is actually a very neat feature. You can also turn the device off with this by just tapping on the anywhere empty on the home screen. So it just locks up and double tap and goes back in. So UI is actually very smooth, but I think it's very heavy. The UI, the LG has done a lot on the UI. As you can see, there's so many things happening all around. You get your volume and your brightness level right on the notification bar. You get a lot of toggles on the top. You can quickly open up a memo option where you can quickly write or take up notes and just save it as on the notebook or gallery. So this is actually a very nice feature to have if you quickly want to note down something. You can actually get access to it very quickly. You also get the quick remote, which is actually the infrared port on the top. It uses this to control your televisions, to control your set-top boxes, and a lot of other appliances around your home. So talking about the UI back again, you get a lot of options on the launcher. The launcher has a bunch of themes. You get your home screen settings if you want any animations, and also lock screen settings. So you have there are only 2 themes on this right now. So if you want to change your theme, it will load up. And there you go. So you get new icons here, and overall the whole customized icons and all the wallpaper and all this change. So there are a lot of themes and home screen settings as well. As you can see, I can now change my effects. As you can see, it's giving me the effect, what kind of effect it will give. If I change to carousel, now I go back to home, so now it's going into a carousel mode. So pretty heavy on the UI, but surprisingly it does not hamper any performance. We tried almost every app. Everything runs pretty smooth. Thanks to the 3 GB of RAM, multitasking is very smooth, and you don't face any issues whatsoever. So let's do a bit of gaming on the LG G Pro 2. I have Asphalt 8 on this, and let me just play one round of racing, and let's see how well it performs. We did play a few rounds before making this video, and I think the performance level on the smartphone is actually very good. The textures and the detailing on the road and all, it's actually very nice, and even the volume on the loudspeaker is quite decent. You can see you're getting a lot of details. The game comes out very smooth, and all the textures, all the colors, and surprisingly there is no lag whatsoever. The Snapdragon 800 works quite well, and the Adreno GPU on it. Gaming performance on the smartphone is actually very good. and we even tried some other games, and we didn't find any issues whatsoever. So in the gaming department, the LG G Pro 2 gets full marks. Everything works very well. As I said, the UI is not so bad, even though it's very heavy. I think for personally, for my taste, it's a lot to handle. But LG has surprisingly done a very good job with the UI, as it doesn't lag. We haven't seen any issues here. And also coming to the heating issues, it's pretty normal for an Android smartphone to heat up. And we did see slight, heating up of the device, but it wasn't so much that you can't live with it. Coming to the battery department, it has a 3200 mAh battery, which is a lot, and the Snapdragon 800 has been known to be very efficient. So it gives a full day of charge when you're using your 3G, you're browsing your internet, you're going to your Facebook, Twitter, you're doing a bit of gaming, listen to music. You can get about a full 1 day charge out of the battery, and if you can use it and conserve it properly, maybe about 1.5 day or max to max, a 2 day. I don't think you can manage a full 2 day out of the battery, but if you can use it very, very, efficiently, you can maybe churn out 2 days of battery backup. Uh, Talking about the display again, I think it's a very nice display. We tried it in the sunlight. You can, walk around in the direct sunlight, but the colors do start to wash out, and the brightness also goes away. Viewing angles on this display are actually very good. The colors don't wash out, the sharpness is there, the detail is there. So display actually very good. Performance also, like I said, it was not so bad, but if we go to the benchmarks, it doesn't score that, not so well. Let me take it through the camera. It has a 13 megapixel camera with optical image stabilization, which you don't see on a lot of smartphones these days. The UI is pretty simple. You can take a picture from here, change to video mode. There are a number of modes on it. Your magic focus, dynamic tone, panorama, burst shot, beauty shot, dual camera. So it also has a dual camera, so the front and the back camera will start working at the same time. Apart from this, you do have the option of changing a lot of settings. You can change your shutter by voice recognition. There's brightness control. This is actually exposure compensation. Your focus modes, auto, manual, or face tracking. So manually, you can focus by using the distance basically. So there is manual focus on the camera, which is actually quite convenient. So let me go back to auto. Yeah. So you also have option of changing the resolution. If you want a really wide perspective, you can change to 10 megapixel. You get a wider image. You can control the ISO, your white balance, color tones, and the usual stuff. So the pictures are taken by, let me just show you some samples. I think it does a very good job in the detailing. As you can see, I can also see the watermarks, left on the chrome of this car. So actually very nice on the detailing part. It also gives you a slight bit of depth of field, a shallow depth of field, which gives a nice feel to the image. You can see this is slightly blurred, and the object is quite focused. So I was pretty impressed by the camera on the G Pro 2. Although I thought it won't be that good, and I was a little finicky about the optical image stabilization, whether it would actually work or not. But it works actually very good. As you can see, it's still sharp. Even if I zoom it, even the text, if I zoom a lot of it, it looks actually quite good. So the camera is on the LG G Pro 2 is very nice, and if if you like shooting outdoors, or occasionally you like shooting for your Instagram, or maybe putting up pictures on Facebook, it's actually a very good camera. Even some of the features on the camera, including manual focus, I think it's a very good option to have on a smartphone. And even smartphone photography is going a large way, so I think a very good camera. The LG G Pro 2 is actually a very nicely built smartphone. I think it's got a very distinguished design. The textured back is nice. Typical LG smartphone. I think it's best for people who want a lot of performance in a phablet design. people who can't compromise on a lot of performance and who love large screen displays. Surprisingly, it's not that heavy, judging by the huge size. LG has done very good with the trimming of the bezels. The screen populates almost about 85 to 90% of the display, which is actually the best part. And also, I really loved the keys at the back. It's actually very convenient when you're holding the phone like so. It's very convenient. Your fingers directly reach there, and you can control your volume. You can lock your screen and unlock it like that. And also some of the UI features which LG has put. Surprisingly, a lot of manufacturers don't focus a lot on how the usability should be done, but LG has gone way beyond. The tap to wake is actually an excellent feature. You don't have to always go and reach for your power button. You just have to double tap the display. You can even lock it like so, which so again you don't have to reach for the button. Other good things about it is obviously we don't like large screen phones, but the UI has a nice little feature where you can just swipe and you get a smaller version of your whole phone, and then you can obviously work around in a very easy to reach manner. So this was one of the few features which I liked. The camera performance is excellent, even the graphics performance is great. So judging by all the competitors in this same league, I think the G Pro 2 is a great option, considering that it has also got a recent price drop of more than 10,000. So you can now get this at about 39,990. So people who love big phones, they want performance. I think the G Pro 2 is an excellent choice, and also it is slightly well priced right now. So I think you should go for it and get a good bargain on the smartphone.